Why do some people think Ruche is a boy? If you've ever watched any reviews on the Exiled Heavy Knight Knows how to game the system, like me, you'll know many tend to label Ruche as a boy. Now this could be argued to just be rage bait, and YouTubers wanting to get more comments correcting them. But I think there's a discussion to be had as to why girls in anime are so quick to be labelled as boys or femboys if they don't possess the typical over-exaggerated women's physique that we see in so many anime, which Ruche clearly does not possess. In fact, I'd even argue in terms of typical tropes that we see in anime regarding women, sidekicks to the male protagonist, Ruche does break a few aspects of this established mold. The first being her true necessity to the protagonist. While this may change as the story progresses, as Elias is a heavy knight, it is constantly established how slow and gravity-locked his character is. So for any bosses that may require speed, long-range attacks, or acrobatics, he truly does heavily rely on Ruche for their survival. It is not a means of placating her, as without her, as we've seen time and time again, many bosses would have ended our heavy knight's life. I think it is partially Ruche's power and outline of some of these typical tropes that leads some spectators to label her as a boy, as her accomplishments and physique stand out against the typical portrayal of women within specifically isekai, where they are often portrayed as just sidekicks to the male protagonist who may be powerful and helpful but are often not stronger or truly necessary to help the protagonist. This goes into the issue with isekai often having extremely overpowered characters where help from others is often just not required or a hindrance to the OP's battle, which leads to stagnation in the story, but that is a discussion for another video. The only other imaginable means for why some speculate that Ruche is a boy is the mystery that surrounds her background, as some speculate that she too, like Elias, was a formal noble kicked out of her family for awakening as a jester class, which, like the Heavy Knight class, is another complex class system that in a world based on instant reward would most likely be frowned upon. But this is all just speculation and has no bearing on her true backstory, which only time can tell what it is. But dear viewers, these are only my speculations. I know many of you will agree or disagree with my theories, but if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and if you were ever so kind, subscribe.